We spoke last episode about a very important skill that you have, not to possess, but you have to know about it, distractions. And we know how to come over it, how to know when you are distracted, etc. But still, there are, we can say they are not skills, but something that you really need to acquire. I cannot call it a skill, but something you really need to know about in order to achieve your goal. This episode will speak about two very important points, skills, topics, name it what you want. But without them, you will not be able to achieve your goal. So, in this episode, please be with us because it's really important. See you in a minute.
Dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters everywhere in the world and everyone's watching us. As we said in the introduction, we'll be speaking about two skills, topics, things you need to know about, name it what you want, but they are really crucial. And we'll start by, we can call it's a story of success. This story of success will teach us very, very important skill, or this what you are going to name, that is persistence. How to be persistent in order to achieve your goal. Last episode we spoke about distractions and when you are distracted and how to come over it and how to reach your goal despite that you will get distracted, and this is normal. But this episode, persistence. How to be persistent, because if you're not, even if you are skillful enough, have all the skills, have all the resources, all the support you can imagine, but if you are not persistent, you will not achieve your goal. First, I'd like to introduce my dear guests. I'll start with the expert for this episode, Mr. Ahmed Afifi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ahmed Afifi is a human resource consultant and will get benefit from his knowledge in the term of human resource. And this will be very, very beneficial for you. So again, I would like to welcome our friend, Mr. Ahmed.
Doctor, thank you. It's a
Thank you
pleasure
so
always
much.
to be here.
Yeah, pleasure is ours. And Mr. Ismail from Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you. We're happy to have you on the show, Mr. Ismail.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll start with telling you this story about a scientist and how persistence made him an icon in science. Not just in science, in everything. But we will take persistence as one of his qualities that made him Thomas Edison. The story of Thomas Edison. Briefly, what did Thomas Edison was in the beginning? Let's start with it. Thomas Edison was a child in school. He was very bad at studying. All his teachers said he's not smart enough to be in school. This guy is dummy. And his mother already took him to home and she started to educate him at home. And then she discovered that he's very talented with things to prepare in a lab, something practical, I mean. And then he asked his mother one day, he wants to make a lab at home. Of course, many mothers, when they listen this from their kids, they will never agree. But she agreed, and she established him a lab in her home. And he started to do things about chemistry, and he made things bad, and he made things good, etc. This one, he was a kid. And then Thomas Edison started to grow up. And then one day, his mother got very sick and she went to hospital. And at this time, there was no just daylight. Nothing like the lights that we have today, thanks to Thomas Edison. And the doctor said, I cannot do the operation in midnight or at night. I have to wait till morning. And Thomas Edison kept thinking how to make light in night. Then he went to his lab and he made lots of experiencing, doing some experiments. He failed, as he said, he failed 99 times. But he made it on the 100. So Thomas Edison was persistent to make light in night. And after the 99th, he made it. Why did he make it? Because he was persistent. Why he was persistent, and this is something will be discussed in this episode with Mr. Ahmed Afifi. Because he had a goal, saving his mother. This was the ultimate goal. And then, when he made the light, it just went for 15 minutes on light. And then, it went down. And then he said his famous sentence, if it went up for 15 minutes, it can go on for 100 years for the lighter. This is Thomas Edison. And this is persistence. Speaking of this and persistence, I'll go for Mr. Ahmed Afifi. We spoke about Thomas Edison and how he was persistent to invent the lighter. Now we are in this studio, thanks to Allah first, and thanks to Thomas Edison. We have the lights in the studio, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what do you think of persistence and how our audience can get benefit of this skill, or is this something to have in their mind in order to achieve their goals?
Okay, we'll start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, the persistence is one of the major competencies or one of the major things that any person can have.
Okay.
It's inside anybody.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is the person must be focused.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, focus is very important.
Yes, first of all, you have to be very focused. Second, you have to be very goal-oriented. You have to know what you want from this world. What do you want in your life? And
Yeah, this is, sorry for stopping you, but
Yes.
this is we were speaking in previous episodes on life planning
Yes.
by setting your goal. We were speaking about this.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
how to have a goal for your life in order to know what to do. Why are you living in this world? This is what Mr. Ahmed is talking about, and this is for you to know more, that being goal-oriented or have a goal in your life is the key for success. It's the first step.
Yes. The second step is that you must concentrate and not to listen to anyone around you, especially people who push you down. The
Yeah.
third and most important is that you must find people who will push you up and
Yeah.
to be and finding other ways to make it. I have this beautiful example of this office boy that was working in a previous company I
Okay.
worked with. And he was an office boy. He came from Upper Egypt, and he's slightly illiterate.
All right.
And he wanted to become a draftsman inside that company. And
From an office boy,
yes,
to
a draftsman. Yes.
It's a very, very long way home.
Yes.
Okay.
So one day he sat with the HR, and I was with them, and he saw how you can become a draftsman. So he kept on reading all the proper needs for this, so he can apply for that job. So very simple. He started to take English at the nearest public library, and then step by step he started to take Microsoft Office.
Okay.
Then he started to take AutoCAD, which was the main
Yeah, this is the main computer
Components.
for
computer
draftsmen.
for draftsmen. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And he took it, and after 2.5 years, he became a draftsman. Currently, he's a senior draftsman. And even though
Senior?
yes,
Okay.
even though people kept on telling him, "You're an office boy. Why are you taking all this? There is no need for that.
There's no hope.
There is no hope.
Okay.
When he came to me, I told him, just forget all these people. Continue. You're doing a great job. And he did. And he kept on continuing and continuing. Currently, he's a senior.
Yeah.
And the next step, he could be the manager
Okay.
in a big multinational company.
A big
here in
multinational.
Egypt. Yes, here in
Wow.
Egypt. So,
Whoa.
if you take your steps and you take a deep breath and just think, what are my goals? What do I need to do? And you just start planning.
Yes, and this is what we were discussing in previous episodes about life planning.
Yes.
But actually, I see this, and this is for our audience. This man who was an office boy, just dealing with tea and coffee all day, and he wanted to be a draftsman, why did he reach this? Actually, many factors. Persistence, which is the topic of this episode. Yes, it's a pillar. And pillar, I mean a column in your life. He was persistent, right?
Yes.
And he already ignored people who pushing him down. And this refers to last episode, distractions. And he searched for people who could support him or push him up. This is very important. And then he had hope here. He had it from here.
Yes.
He had a goal there, and he had the energy here, the power, the torch, the battery, the engine to support him to reach this goal there. Persistence and hope. And persistence comes from hope. And this will be discussed in another story with Mr. Ahmed later in this episode. So, after knowing the story of this draftsman, and I would like also to know the point of view of our dear guests about persistence concerning something happened already to you.
Right, there's a very famous example, it's a famous story of the frog who's deaf.
A frog.
To succeed or to to reach your goal, you have to be deaf.
Okay.
You have to ignore all what the others are trying to tell you, like this frog.
Okay.
There's a competition of frogs to climb at the top of a mountain or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we have hundreds and hundreds of frogs. They all gave up but one frog. He could make it, and finally they discovered that this frog, they always were hearing some discouraging voices around them that you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
But this frog, he was the only one who succeeded because he was deaf. He didn't hear anything.
Okay.
That's why he made it at the end, and he could climb at the top, the highest top.
Yes, and this refers to what Mr. Ahmed said. Don't listen to anyone
Yes.
could
Deaf.
put you down.
Be deaf.
Yeah, because the frog was deaf, so he didn't hear the negative thoughts of the negative voices of the people in order not to push him down or distract him. So you need to do this. When you find negative sounds, you have to be deaf about it. Ignore it. Because if you already considered it and you started just 1% thinking about it, it's like, when something it's in chemical reactions, when something or an element comes to another element and started to take over it. It's like this and like this. And when they start to engage with each other, this element started to take over it. The negative thoughts are this element. So never allow it to take over it, please. Because the moment you just allow to enter the door, it will. And it will be very, very difficult to push it away from you again. So avoid the mistake and don't let the negative thoughts enter your mind, please. So, back. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for the frog story.
Welcome.
Mr. Ismail.
Yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's very much important, the topic that we are discussing is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what you are or how much ability you have, if there is no persistence in you, you will discover that in the end of something that you are able to do, you can't be able to do it.
Yes.
Because in life, you have to, like you said earlier, that you have to get the goals that I want to actually achieve. They are already set. So you have to be persistent, without which you can't succeed even with something that you are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much important people to understand that no matter what you are, or no matter where you are, some people feel that, for example, we are living in the Middle East or in Africa, it's very difficult for me to study.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we can always do better things when there is difficulty to do this thing. And then we always have, you know, this kind of zeal that it's difficult. I'll try to make difference.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people think that I can go to, maybe, for example, in the US or Europe to study. You have a lot of facilities there. When you get there, sometimes people are distracted
Yes.
with these facilities. So, which means it's not a matter of being somewhere where there are opportunities. You are, you know, the resource that you need to be a better person. So you have to make sure that you utilize these resources, which means you have to know that, you know, I really have to make myself different.
Yes.
This is a very difficult goal, you know, to achieve. But with courage, with zeal, zest, I will be able to reach there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
So then you make sure that you focus, like the professor said. Most people have these problems. If you live in a community wherein people believe that they can never make anything positive,
Yes.
you know, they feel like, you know, they can't succeed.
Yeah.
One or two people have tried something, they didn't succeed.
Mm-hmm.
They will come around you when you are trying to do this thing. They'll tell you that you can't succeed. Why do you continue doing this? It's impossible. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Like another story of the boy, the office boy that you told us. Very, very much, you know, amazing. Somebody from an office boy, you know, to become a manager.
Yeah.
It's a very long distance.
Yes.
You need to
But
read
he
more.
made it.
So even people who were already there in the school, who had a plan that they wanted to become managers or draftsmen, they were not able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But with a boy who did not even know how to read and write, from there, he had a plan and he was focused. He was able to achieve that goal. So that's
Yes,
a very
and-
important
and
thing.
it was very
Yes.
difficult because, as I know, and please you can correct me with this, Mr. Ahmed, a draftsman were the engineers in the field. They take the drawings and they start to implement it in real.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh, yes.
they are the backbone. So if something went wrong with this, something will go wrong
Mhm.
with the construction.
The construction will fall.
Construction will fall.
And I'd like to
Imagine
add
how
some.
it's important.
I'd like to add some points to my brother Ismail. That yes, you are energetic. That you want to be something.
Yeah.
You have to have that belief that you believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have a strong belief in your goal. Yes, this goal is something superior. It will make superior and special. That you have to have belief, and you have to have self-confidence
Yes.
that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think positively all the time. That no matter what happens, you have a goal, and because this goal is something, it's the issue itself is something. It's not something ordinary or something which is mean.
Mm-hmm.
No, you believe in yourself that you can do something and you can be something.
Yes.
So you have self-confidence and you have this self-estimation. Don't underestimate
Yeah.
yourself that I can do it.
Yes, because
negative
as,
thinking is
yes, you're correct.
destroying.
Yes.
Because as Mr. Ismail said, this doesn't mean that if someone or the people around you, they failed, that you will fail.
Yeah.
I actually myself, I see it, it's a challenge, and it's like the fuel
Yeah.
for you to be different.
Yes.
And this is very important for our audience. You have to set yourself out of the crowd, and this is something that's being used in HR, I think.
Yes, and there's something important also that most companies should have
Mm-hmm.
counselors to help everybody to
Yes.
become career-oriented and to plan their careers. Like, for example, you're a junior engineer.
Yes.
How could you become a senior manager later on?
Or what you are going to be in the next 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the important thing of the manager is that they should encourage the young people and help them out and tell them exactly what to take. Like, take this course, that course. You know, I'm not going to say stay away from that course, but you can focus more on this one
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
help and push.
Yes.
And this is the most important people you need to sit with.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who has persistence, you have to sit with the right people,
Yes.
okay? The right groups,
Yes.
the people who have
Yes.
so-called right future.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't have that at work, I have a story
Yeah.
which could surprise
Tell us, please.
everybody. There was this little boy in Brazil. and he had polio,
Okay.
and he could not walk. And he used to watch all the little boys play soccer
Mhm.
or football.
Mhm.
I kept on seeing them, and he wanted to do the same thing. So, step one, he became a goalkeeper. Even though he had polio, he just jumped,
Yes.
did a little this and that. And suddenly one day he just took the challenge and he walked. And he started to walk with the ball.
Mhm.
And then he started to run. And suddenly he no longer had
Oh
polio.
my God.
You know how I'm talking about?
I think I know.
Pelé.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pelé,
Yes.
the most famous soccer player on earth. The Black Jewel,
Yes.
if you all know him.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
This is his story. He had polio. And he broke it. He just, no more polio.
Relay.
Yes. He had polio and he ran.
The most famous soccer player in the world.
2,000 goals. He scored
Yes.
2,000
2,000
goals,
goals.
categorized as number 4 in history, in the history of soccer. Number 4. And number 1 in Brazil for an entire history. He had polio.
Yeah. World Cup 58 till 1970. So,
Yeah.
3 World Cups.
Everyone knows the
Was-
term of the Black Jewel.
Yes.
And actually it's for a soccer player as well. He had, I think, polio. And a football club took him as kind of sympathy with the guy. But this guy already took the challenge, and he kept persisting that he can make something.
I think I know him.
And today, who he is?
Messi?
Lionel Messi,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
the most talented soccer player on earth now.
Yes.
So, persistence for people who have polio. Come on. Are you telling me that you cannot be persistent? My audience? Come on. Persistence is very important. And speaking of and asserting on Mr. Ahmed's point, you have to find the right people. When we spoke about you have to find the right people around you, like having a godfather, a mentor. Please, this is very important because they are like guidance. You remember the episode? It was the episode before the last. We had Mr. Mann, and we spoke about how to find a role model, a mentor in your life to guide you. And this mentor has real experience, a long experience, in order to tell you what to avoid and what to take into consideration. And please, this is a very, very important decision about your mentor. He can put you inside the wall, or he can put you on track.
Right. And
Right.
for
You know,
this,
I
This was my-
I have another example. You know,
Yeah,
one
thanks.
especially for those who try to learn languages. You know, the best grammarian of all time for Arabic language is Sibawai.
Yes, Sibawai,
Yes.
of course.
He's not an Arab,
No, he's not.
He's not, yes.
and according
Yeah.
to history,
He's
he
Persian,
was
I think.
pushed, by his mother to go
Yes.
to study, and he did not know anything about Arabic language,
Yeah, yeah.
and until today, he is the best.
yeah.
So, yes.
You know, so it doesn't matter whether I am a native or if I have been, whether I've already been in the system for a long time.
Yes.
If I'm ready to do something, I have the, that particular courage. I have my own
Sure.
goals. Then I try to reach there. You will.
Yes.
You will.
Of course, and because this is why they deleted the word impossible from their dictionary
Yes.
online.
Yes.
Actually, another story about persistence, dear audience, was speaking about another role model concerning persistence. He was a young man in 20s. In his 20s, he failed many times in establishing his company, and in the early 20s, he failed. And then he tried to work another company in 30s, and then he failed. And then he worked into politics. And then he wanted to elections and tried to win an election, and then he failed again. And at age of 48, he went to nominate himself again in elections, and he failed. And then he became in 52, at age of 52, President of America, Abraham Lincoln. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
He had a nerve collapse at age of 27 because of not winning, because of not achieving success. So actually this has many roles and many lessons. Persistence, patience, trusting God, lots of things you need to learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one story, but it has many lessons. We are here focusing on one, but you could have many lessons of it. Persistence, you have to trust your gut. You have to keep working, because if you stop working, nothing will happen. And actually, I have a very, very important saying from an experience, my mentor actually. This sentence say, time pass already. Time is passing, so the only one who can make value of this passing time or not. It will pass. No one can stop the time.
Yeah, like
But
yeah.
make a value of this time. It will be already 5 years later. So you could make after 5 years, make something of it or nothing. Please do something with your time, because time is very important. Actually, we'll go for a short break. And please don't go anywhere. And please have interference with us through the telephones on displayed on the screen. And please don't go anywhere. We'll get back after a short break.
Al-Imam al-Nawawi, may Allah have mercy on him, have indeed did a great and a tremendous job in compiling some of the most beautiful ahadith and relevant ayat in one of his marvelous works, which is known as Riyadus Salihin, or Gardens of the Pious. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all amongst the dwellers of Gardens of the Pious. Jannat al-Na'im. Allahumma ameen.
Humans to be the best and give his best religion to them. Rasulullah, Habib Allah. Allah, our God is the greatest. The one and only glory to him.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV. Acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
Since Huda TV first launched in 2005, the channel has been striving to extend its broadcast to cover every corner of the globe. We're already live through satellite in the Middle East, parts of Europe and Africa, and via web streaming around the globe. Today, Huda TV is pleased to offer glad tidings to its viewers in the United States of America. Huda TV is now available for broadcast on the Galaxy 19 satellite on the following parameters. Satellite, Galaxy 19 at 97 degrees west. Transporter, 28. Frequency, 12184. Polarization, horizontal. FEC, 3/4. SR 22000. We're thankful to Allah that Huda TV's English programming is now available to all our viewers in America. And we promise you to bring you more upscale productions day by day. Tune in to Huda TV on Galaxy 19 right now. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Welcome back, our audience, from the break. Before the break, we spoke about persistence. And as we said, this episode will have 2 skills or 2 gifts that you need to have in your life. Persistence, and we spoke about it with 2 role models, Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Edison, and how this will support you in your life, and how to be persistent, expressed already by having a goal. And we had the story of the draftsman narrated by Mr. Ahmed Afifi. Actually, we'll go for another very important story about persistence that happened with our friend Ahmed.
Yes. Well, I liked Professor Ahmed's words about people who push you up.
Oh.
Actually, it's something personal for me that I'd like to go so far in my higher education. Now I'm in the stage of my master.
Okay, good.
Yes. I've started I started my master about 1 year and a half. I started with a proposal for for some topic. It's in English literature.
Okay.
And actually, my supervisor wasn't that helpful. And I decided, or I had to change my supervisor to choose someone else because she wasn't. She was a professor and she wasn't that helpful and supportive at all.
All right.
And now I started to continue with some other supervisor, but unfortunately my proposal was refused. That the new supervisor told me you're going to be refused if you think about this discussion point. Yes.
Okay.
So it's really difficult to start over again from another springboard. You know, it's really difficult, and it makes you feel lonely. Okay. But I'm persistent.
You were persistent.
Yeah,
That's
I never gave up.
Okay.
And I told her that she told me, but it's difficult. How to start again? I told her, okay, Professor, I can't give up. I like challenge, and I accept it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm persistent. But there's something deep in my heart that I'm feeling lonely. I'm a bit confused. I don't know how to start again. How to manage? You went so far. And you found yourself suddenly that you have to come back and start again. But on my way back, it's a bit long, and to get back again to where you started and to go so far, it's really, really difficult. And to take this decision, but I'm still in it. That I will never give up. But how can I overcome this negative feeling of feeling lonely? And I don't find the people. Yes, in Egypt or in our countries, people are not so helpful. And when you are at the stage of taking the decision that you want to go far in your higher education, that they're not helpful. And some people, they don't want you to be better than them because they are professors, and to come to the stage to be like them. If they think that you are someone who is talented or someone who is ready to be something, they try to push you down.
Yes.
So you once think about these people, that they are the ones who push you up, but suddenly you discover that everything is different, and these people are not the ones you thought about as the ones who push you up. No, they always push you down. They squeeze you, and they insist on squeezing you and putting you down. But after all, I still have this. I still self-determined that I will be something, and I just want to go so far in this.
Yeah, because you were persistent, Ahmed. Why? Because you already had a goal.
Yeah, it's a passion, actually.
Yeah, so it's a goal, and I'll add to it, it's passion plus goal. So it made him persistent.
Yes. Passion.
Right.
Goal. As you said,
but
patience.
My question to you, Professor, how can I overcome this negative feeling of feeling lonely and confused? I'm really confused. I think you understand the state I'm in now.
Oh yes. Actually, we faced this, but I'll tell you another story about a great person. That all of us, we read his book currently. Okay, for our Prophet Muhammad's hadith. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and al-Bukhari. Al-Bukhari, he came from Bukhara, Uzbekistan currently, and he traveled all the way to Medina because he started to hear all the wrong hadith over there. And some people say, yes, they're right. No, they're wrong. So he started off with Medina, and he decided to collect all, so Prophet Muhammad saying, sallallahu alayhi wasallam,
Yes, yes, yes.
so he can show it to the people of Bukhara and give them the right ahadith. So he started to go around and seeing the people who actually took the right saying, because everybody memorized it. So he traveled a lot. I mean, one of the stories that he traveled to this man in the middle of the desert. And everybody told him that you're crazy, that you're going to, so far away. And he was in the middle of Saudi Arabia. And he went to this man that everybody told him that he knows.
Mhm.
And the man had a carrot, and he had a horse. And he wanted to bring the horse close to him, so he just pointed out with the carrot. The moment the horse comes, he puts the carrot in his pocket.
Yeah.
The moment he saw that, even though he traveled all the way, he just took himself and go back. Why? Because this guy is lying to a horse, so he's probably going to be lying to me. He traveled all these kilometers on a camel, caravans, to make it to that guy who was supposed to give him right ahadith.
Yeah.
And at the end, he turned out to be a liar. And because of this, we have the right ahadith from this man, and we have the book, which is like this big, and it has everything correct. So he was very persistent, and he was very patient, and he traveled all the way. And the thing about loneliness, I was just saying, you must find the right group.
Yes, no matter
For you.
what
But
kilometers
actually,
you talk,
I
you
find
have.
something concerning loneliness,
Yes.
because in my opinion, I see that his goal could be his company if he trusts it. If he knows
Yes.
that this is the right thing to do, and he's sure that he has to do it and has passion about it, he will enjoy his goal as your company.
Yes.
Yes, and no matter what, in what time you
No
took,
matter
and
what, you
no
have
matter
a
what
goal and have to
kilometers
reach
you went for, but when you discover that this is not the right person, it's something very good. You are lucky.
Yes.
You are lucky.
Yes.
Don't consider it lonely. Consider
Yes.
yourself you are lucky,
Yeah.
and you have a goal
And
to do
always
it, to achieve it.
turn the negative to positive. And how do you do that? Very simple. You sat with that woman, you saw what she did to you, just learn from her, that doctor, professor, and you learn what she did to you, and you don't do that in the future. Okay?
When you sit at her chair in the
Yes.
future, you know what not to do.
What not to do.
With
This is the most
people
important, and this is
under
very
supervision.
important. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
This is
Correct.
very important. When people work in wrong companies and bad companies,
Yeah, no, I'll never be the person who
you
pushes
take the
people down.
example. Yes.
Actually,
you
this
take
is
the
a secret
example.
of success, because
Yes.
if you avoided what the bad superiors do to you,
Yes.
you will succeed with your subordinates later,
Yeah.
or people
Yes.
you supervise,
Right.
even if
Yes,
you're
that's
a
right.
professor in the college or you're a manager in a company.
Yes.
Right?
So after all, please just wish me good luck.
Good luck, inshallah.
Good luck, Ahmed.
Yes.
And we spoke about persistence as one skill. The next skill, some people find it strange, not easy to do, but it's very easy to do. Actually, I'll start it with a story of a great person. This person, actually, he was dummy at school as well. And at college, he made what we can call about madness in school. Meaning that when they enter an exam, etc., the answers of this boy was just meaningless. It cannot make any sense. But sometimes it is right, but it cannot make any sense. He went for an exam, and this exam was on physics. And he had the question about how to measure the air pressure in a skyscraper. So the answer was measuring the length of the skyscraper and the air, and the difference will be the air pressure, etc. But he answered a very strange answer. In order to know the length of this building or the skyscraper, he said that we will tie the barometer, and the tool was the barometer. We'll tie the barometer, and we make it fall with the row we had until the ground, and then we measure the length of the row, and then we know the length of Yes, you laughed, Ahmed.
Yes, I
Yes. And when his teacher saw the answer, he's very wrong and he didn't continue the paper. And then they made a committee in order to know what is the guy, what's his problem, because the guy made a complaint, etc. And one of the rules of the university to make a committee to know if this guy is right or wrong. And in order to make things easy, they asked him the same question. And he answered, actually, there are many ways. The first way, which is like the answer he answered in the exam. The second, we can go for the doorman of the skyscraper and we give him the barometer as a gift and he will tell us. It's very simple. And another answer could be that we throw the barometer over the skyscraper and we measure the time and then we can know the length of the skyscraper. But if we want to make things complicated, we can measure the pressure up there and the shadow of the skyscraper, and then they started to say, he's telling the answer, yes. But this will make things complicated. Actually, the committee went very, very bad and mad about his attitude. What is the guy saying is right, but this is not physics. This person, he continued his life and he never got excellent grade in physics. But later on, you know what he became?
Scientist.
He became the first and the only Danish scientist in physics. Niels Bohr, the guy who made physics simple. Why? Why he had Nobel? Actually, Nobel Prize being granted to him because he made the rules of physics easy. Actually, he made it simple. Make things simple, please, like Niels Bohr. Because if you complicate things, you'll not be able to proceed and it will be very, very tough and long way home until you achieve success in your life. Make things simple. Actually, I'll have this vision about the simplicity as a road. You have a road, and when it is empty, it has no cars, that you can go directly and fast with your car. But what if it is crowded? You will be driving on maximum 10 or 20 kilometers per hour. But if it is empty, you can go on 100. This is when you make things simple. Make it simple. Make life simple. So this was the second skill or a gift people should acquire and have in their life. Make things simple and simplicity. How can we make things simple? Because in our show, we speak about skills that you need to acquire, goals, how to plan for your life, how to use strategic planning for your life. Some big titles. We have competencies. We had a competency model and how people to know the skills and what are the required skills. We spoke about sales and communication, etc. But after this, how to make things simple as a key of success. Mr. Ahmed, you had a story about it.
Yes. Actually, I have a funny story. Some people say it's a right story. Some people, it's unknown.
Okay.
But actually, if you think about it, it's a little funny. It's when the Cold War was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, the Soviets against the Americans, etc.
Okay.
The Americans went in space and discovered that the ballpoint pens don't work in space.
Okay.
It was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So they told NASA. NASA spent $12 billion, and they made a pen that works underwater, space, upside down, a ballpoint, excellent, etc., etc.
Yeah, yeah.
On the other hand, they discovered that the Soviets were using pencils. More simple. So this is now a very simple thing, a 5-cent pencil, and the others did a $12 billion project for a ballpoint pen that would work in space. Some people said this story is true, some people say it's not really true, but it's
true enough,
actually,
it makes sense.
yes, and this is something that has to do with simplicity. Another thing about HR in Japan, which was very interesting, that when an engineer gets hired in one of the big automotive companies, he must, through the 3 months probation, bring out a way to make the lines more simple, the automation lines more simple. If he doesn't, he doesn't get hired.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This is in Japan. Why? Because it's very important. You learned new skills. How are you going to use it on our lines to make it more simple and produce more?
Yes.
And this is how it is. This is what simplicity is.
Yes.
Okay?
Agreed.
So it's very important that the first thing, if you want to make things simple, first of all, you have to read the technology. A TV, and you want to fix it. How do you fix the TV? You read the manual.
Yes.
You read the manual, understand how it works, and then simply you start working on it. Step by step, you start to understand it. The maintenance is going to be easy.
Yes.
Okay? And this is making it simple for a person.
But we don't do this. I don't do this.
Yes, a lot of people don't do this.
Yeah.
And this is how you make simple things. Okay? There's a lot of examples that we can use. And this is the first step. You have to understand. And I was just saying about the Japanese. He takes 3 months. He just notices and sees how the lines are working.
And how to make it more simple.
Yes, and after
For more
seeing, after
productivity.
3 months, he just writes a report. And that report affects everything.
If he will be hired or not.
Yes.
Actually, I see it's a point in a kind of knowledge and science. This science called lean manufacturing. It's something similar to what Mr. Ahmed is saying,
Yes.
which is being lean. It's fatless. When you hear the term lean belly or flat belly,
Yes.
when it's lean, it's fatless. It has no fats. So if it has no fats, it will be better for health, for life, etc. Something for the lean manufacturing, because the line, it's like this. When it's not lean, it has like this and this and this and this and this and this until you end to the end. But if it is lean, it's straight. So you produce more, you sell more, you win, you gain more profits. So, and this is a fixed type of knowledge called lean manufacturing. All the people who are working, and not even it's called lean manufacturing, it could be used in services, etc. How to make things lean, how to produce instead of 10 cars, how to produce 20 or 15 without extra cost.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking about simplicity, right? You have to be direct. You
Yes,
don't have
you
to
have
make
to-
it complicated and to take some other ways and to keep yourself
Yes,
away from
the
the direct
shortest
road.
way is the direct way.
Yes, you have to be direct.
Yes.
And speaking about simplicity, that I'm a teacher, and I was taking a teaching course, and it was the past simple. I made a teaching practice to present the past simple, and I was meditating. What kind of thing can I do to make it easy? Because they were elementary students, they weren't intermediate or upper intermediate. So it's a kind of it's
Hard.
not easy to start with people in this level of English. And I always I always think before doing anything about how to make it simple, how to make it direct, to make them understand it.
Actually, yes,
And-
and sorry for interruption,
Yeah.
but actually thinking about making things simple is very important, because making things simple is not simple,
Yes, it's difficult.
unfortunately.
Yes.
Because you have to think about it and you have to spend effort about it, how to make things simple, because this is the shortest way to success. It's like how to make the way to success shorter. So, and never touch the quality of your life, etc. So you have to think about it. But actually, I know this because you already thought about how to make things simple. And this is very, I like it because it came from education, etc., concerning elementary school people.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ismail, you have something to say?
Actually, in addition to what the doctor has said, especially for us today who want to engage in many things, I want to study technology, I want to do this, I want to do this. This actually increases the difficulties that we face in trying to achieve a particular goal. Because if I want to study, for example, Microsoft programs, at the same time I want to go to study Spanish, at the same time I want to serve my, my work, it will be very difficult.
Yes.
And this is the complication that we do face today.
Yes.
Not because we do not have the ability, but because we have very small time to spend to what we want to do.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Many people today, they believe that I can't just continue studying, I need to work. Yes, it's okay. But you have to understand which one can serve you better. Is it the job that you are looking for now?
Yes.
Or is it the qualifications that you are looking for?
Yes.
So if we are doing many things in the same time, this increases the difficulties that we face in doing something. So we have to make sure that whatever I think we had a program last time here that we were talking about time. The time is very crucial in anything that we try to do.
Yes, we spoke about time in a previous episode,
Exactly.
the one before last.
Yeah. I just remember when I came to Cairo, actually, I have never studied French in my country, not even A, B, C, D. I did not know anything in French.
Oh.
So when I arrived here, I found that, it was very difficult for me to go to the school that I wanted to go to, because as Al-Azhar University said that we are not going to let you go to the university because you do not have, the certificates that, we affiliation. So your schools there are not affiliated to Al-Azhar University. So you have to go through a secondary school so that you get a certificate and you go to the university. So I thought that it was going to be a long time, waiting and waiting and waiting. So I said I have to start to study something. When I started studying French, believe you me, I was paying my own friends from French-speaking countries my own money. The allowance they used to give me like 80 pounds. So the guy was asking me to pay like 50 pounds. So if I take 50 pounds from 80 pounds, so the money is gone.
Yes.
But yet I said I can't spend all this time for this. So I did that, So you have to make sure that you project a lot of time in what you want to do, the goal that you want. If you want to become an engineer, for example.
Yes, actually, and this refers more about planning, because we spoke about the more you plan well, the more your life will go easier.
Yes.
And one of the things that will make yourself and make your life will go easier, simplicity, make things simple. We spoke about persistence and how to be persistent, and this how will support you in your life. Maybe it's clear, but we have to talk about it in order to make you more understanding to it. And simplicity, because simplicity, unfortunately, is not simple. You have to spend effort and think how to make things simple.
Yes.
So actually, we unfortunately came to the end of our episode. First, I would like to thank Mr. Ahmed Afifi for being with us and sharing this huge experience.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Ismail, for having
you very
you,
much.
and thank you, our dear friend Ahmed.
Thank you.
So, thank you, our audience, for following us, and please keep in your mind simplicity and persistence. How to make things simple and persistent. This will support you in life. And please continue with our episodes from the previous, because it's being built over each other. We spoke about how to sell your idea, how to sell your profile, time management, how to have a mentor, the competencies required to your success, because we already planned, and how to get the tools that will support you to achieve your goal. So, this was the episode, persistence and simplicity, that they are really important. Thank you so much for watching us and being with us. And please don't forget to follow us and like us on the social media, especially Facebook, which is facebook.com/HudaTV as one word that's being displayed on the screen. And please don't forget to watch us on YouTube. We'd like to have and share your comments about our episodes and what you think and like to be discussed in future episodes, because, as I said before, you are our customer and we'll do whatever in order to satisfy your needs. Thank you so much, and see you next time and next episode. See you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.